The Chicago Bears are adding another offensive coordinator candidate to the list. Greg Roman has been interviewed by the Chicago Bears. Is he the right man for this job, and why is he the name that I'm most excited on this list? We'll talk about all that and more in today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Let's go. Now, if you are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel talk Chicago sports, how Chicago talks. So make sure you get in tune with us, man. Chicago Bears have interviewed Greg Roman, and to me, this is the most intriguing name that the Bears could be looking at on the list of offensive coordinators right now. I think I was at a point where it was kind of Clint Kubiak because of the season he had. I was really feeling Shane Waldron as well because of the development, but now hearing that Greg Roman's name has been thrown into the mix is the name that gets me the most excited. Now, Greg Roman, of course, known for his time with the Ravens 2019 to 2022, where he got Lamar an MVP season, but there were some limitations with the offense, and it didn't feel like he was utilizing everybody the right way in that one, right? But of course, you look at the 2011 to 2014 situation with the 49ers as the other one that really felt like putting a team in the right direction, developing quarterbacks, getting multiple quarterbacks in that situation, in that time frame, to become players that we didn't expect them to be, right? You're talking about Alex Smith in that situation, of course, ends up being Colin Kaepernick, who really got some good time with Roman as well. And on top of that, right, like you look at that 2019 to 2022 stint, and I love the name Greg Roman because here's the thing. I know that the style of quarterback that Justin Fields and or Caleb Williams are does not matter. I know that the style of quarterback that these guys could be in the NFL does not matter to Greg Roman because he's going to find a way to get the most out of that guy and turn that guy into a pretty good quarterback. Here's the one thing that I could say about Greg Roman with all the limitations that may come with his name. And I know there's going to be some people in here that are like, well, he didn't run the football enough. He didn't pass the football enough. He wasn't trying to throw the ball downfield enough. I get all of that, right? But here's the thing. Number one, best receiver on the team was Hollywood Brown. Only receiver on the team was Hollywood Brown, pretty much. And Hollywood Brown he's a nice receiver, but he's a solid number two at best. With a number one receiver, is he going to get the ball out more? Are you going to see him try to throw the football more? I think that you probably would. We've got that here in DJ Moore. Also seems like we may be adding more to that in a possible receiver taken in the draft. Maybe Odunze. Odunze, y'all know who I'm talking about. Romeo Odunze, right? Romeo Odunze and Marvin Harrison Jr. Those could be possible names there, depending on what you do with that first overall pick. If you trade back and hold on to Justin Fields, or if you trade Fields to take a quarterback. Either way, though, I'm seeing OCs that the Bears are interviewing here that have a proven track record, and that's really what I love to see. And to me, I get the most excited about about Greg Roman because we've seen players win at the highest levels with him, right? Lamar Jackson is an MVP when Greg Roman comes in and goes, yeah, we just want you to do this, make this play, do this. This is easy for you. Now, all of a sudden, and I think here's the thing, right? If you can develop a guy to a certain step, maybe Greg Roman is not the long-term answer for Justin Fields. Maybe Greg Roman is not the long-term answer for the Chicago Bears. Again, his longest stint as an OC is 3 years, right? Usually about 3 years, then it's kind of like, nah, we're out of here. But you think about that 49ers situation, Jim Harbaugh also wore out his welcome there. Now with this situation, 3 years, but they end up going in a different direction with the offensive coordinator, different things like that. But to me, I'm looking at a guy who I've seen now develop 3 quarterbacks and put them in 3 different systems that all 3 of them felt like, this guy actually can play a little bit. Now, I do want to know how you guys feel. Let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts on Greg Roman coming to Chicago and possibly being the offensive coordinator of that team? What will that mean for Justin Fields moving forward? Got to talk about that as well, or whoever the next quarterback is. And I think here's what it comes down to, right? you feel confident that Greg Roman can come into the building and do a good job with quarterback development. That is something that the Chicago Bears, and we talked about this on today's episode of The Daily Show. Make sure to tune in with that as well. Me and the whole crew on there breaking down what the Bears have to get done. For me, the biggest thing is the chefs in the kitchen. Here's the one thing that I do like about this. Number one, you've got a chef in the kitchen that's already put ingredients in the pot and has already gotten the job done. This is what I talked about. This is the comparison that I gave it, right? I can give you the finest meats. I can give you the Wagyu beef. I can give you the onions from Egypt. I can give you the leeks from Somalia. I can give you the finest wine in Italy. And if I give it to a McDonald's fry cook, he's going to give me a sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffin with a side of wine, right? Like, that's all you're going to get out of that guy. Greg Roman is a guy that has taken the ingredients, put the ingredients together, and gotten the most out of a lot of these quarterbacks. I think the number one name on this list for me as well, right, is when you look at a guy like Alex Smith, who to me was in a very, very similar position to what Justin Fields is in right now. Now, the difference there is back then teams stuck on to quarterbacks a lot longer. They hung on to quarterbacks a lot longer. They were more willing to kind of let guys go 4, 5, 6 years and try and figure it out. But Alex Smith was going to go down as one of the biggest busts in NFL history. Literally, when you look at his passing yards, right, you're going 2,800, 914, ends up getting hurt in 2007, 2,300, ends up getting hurt again, but had a 5-5 record. Next season, 2,300. Then Greg Roman shows up 3,100. And if you're wondering how did the touchdown to interceptions look, that's when he was finally kind of able to start unlocking things. I'm sorry, I tweaked on that one. No, I'm right. That's when he was kind of able to start unlocking things there, right? 13-3 season, 17 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Started to see that touchdown to interception ratio going in the right direction. Now, they do end up moving on to Colin Kaepernick after all of that. But even that, right, seeing a very different quarterback than what we've seen Greg Roman develop over the last few years, and Alex Smith still develop under this guy, go on to have a really good career moving forward from that process. I think that's kind of where you start to look at him and go, oh, okay, I can kind of see why this guy is a name that needs to be on the list, because you're seeing him develop multiple quarterbacks into good quarterbacks. Now, is Alex Smith the game manager there? Yeah. Could that be what he tries to turn Justin Fields into if things don't go the way that they're planned? Sure. But I think when you see the Lamar Jackson comparisons, when you see how he improved Colin Kaepernick, right? Colin Kaepernick's a guy to me that never thought could throw. I never thought that he was a elite quarterback with his arm, but with his legs, he was able to extend plays. He was able to find ways to make things happen. And he was able to lead teams to the Super Bowl and an NFC championship with Jim Harbaugh. I thought that those were two things that were really great that we saw out of Greg Roman. And now on top of all of that, right? Like I like the fact that, of course, you get the Lamar Jackson aspect of it, where everybody's talking about this guy's a running back. He's not good. We're not gonna be able to go out there and win anything with him. Why are we putting him in over Flacco? And then you kind of have to realize, oh, we got to change our entire brains on how we want to utilize this quarterback. He's able to go out there and do it. To me, that bodes very well for keeping Justin Fields around, but you have to know that this guy's going to be able to get it. Like I said, Greg Roman has to have a system where he walks in the building, shows the system, Justin Fields goes, hey, can you do this? And Justin's just able to do it. If you can accomplish that, I think you're now in a position where you feel like you're in a win now mode, moving forward quicker, right? Because we can talk about the rookie QB coming in and being better possibly. We can talk about the situation where the team is more set for him, how it's going to be a better team for him to come into. But how long is it going to take for him to figure that system out? That's always the biggest question for me. I think on the flip side of this, with Caleb Williams developing this year, again, we're talking about quarterback development. Alex Smith was a quarterback who was a bust that you were able to bring in and fix, right? Colin Kaepernick was a young quarterback who was coming into the NFL trying to figure out what the heck he was doing. He's able to get out there and run this same system and run it really, really well. Now, you say the same thing about Lamar Jackson. You saw development from Lamar the entire time. And for the people that were like, well, he really didn't become this Lamar until this season. Yeah, he has very different weapons on his team now. To me, he has a number one wide receiver, a number 2 wide receiver, a tight end, a running back. Like, he has weapons. He has an offensive line in front of him. He's got this host of weapons that Greg Roman Roman didn't have at his disposal. So I'm more excited to see what Greg Roman can do no matter who the quarterback is coming in next. For Justin Fields, I think it's a great asset for him to have. For if you bring in Caleb Williams, if you bring in Jaden Daniels, which is a name that I think would really work well with Greg Roman, you know that this guy can develop young quarterbacks. And that to me is the most important thing. I would say he's my number one candidate right now. I would love to know how you guys feel in the comments below. As always, man, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again to continue watching our Chicago Bears content. Click the links on the screen or check the links in the description below. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Peace.